This video book review and all the content on Crystal's imagination, whether gaming, book reviews, multiple genres are reviewed, movie reviews, podcasts, or other content, is intended for adult audiences. Also, bad words are dropped. Viewer discretion is advised. We're ready to be salty right now, family.
Yeah.
We are so ready to be salty. Happy new moon, everyone. Happy new moon. If you're watching this on YouTube, now because of Kappa, I have to say that this content is not for children. So if you were under the age of 13 and you were watching this, no, get out of here, you little fucking bastard. You're not supposed to be watching. What are you even doing on YouTube? Supposed to be like on YouTube Kids or something. This content isn't for you. Fuck out of here. There you go, parents. Get your fucking kids. Christ. This content isn't for them. Oh my God. Now I gotta put this warning in front of every fucking video. Whatever, it's fine. We tonight, fam, are gonna review a book. We're gonna review a movie. There's gonna be some ranting and some business tips, and then that's it. We're going back to our Outer Worlds playthrough probably tomorrow. My schedule right now is crazy. Work is crazy because I've got a lot going on. I'm republishing my books. I'm putting together a street team. I've got marketing to do. I've got a fucking web design course to kick out. I have to fucking make space in my house for my girlfriend who's moving in, who's right there, which is exciting. Wait, I did that wrong. Hang on, she's over there. That's the Hannah. That's the Hannah. Her internet is sometimes trash, so if she freezes, it's not your stream. It's Hannah. She's just frozen, she's sometimes going to freeze and like no, you're fine right now. You're fine.
I opened another window and now it's freaking
I just warned people that you might freeze, but they will be able to hear you, so that's all good. We are going to dive right into the book review. Now, I normally do it where I do like no spoilers first and then spoilers at the end. We're not going to do that this time. This is pretty much just going to be just expect that we will probably spoil this book for you. Yeah, spoil everything. I will really quick before we dive into it, I will have Hannah give her review like in 2 sentences, non-spoilery. So if you're just like, should I get this book? Should I not get this book? Hannah, go. Give like a non-spoilery to somebody who's never read this. What is your rec?
If you don't mind books that are more relaxed pace, I don't know where I'm supposed to look.
Look at your camera. look right at the camera.
If you don't mind books that are more relaxed pace, not fast paced at all, really takes its time, doesn't rush anything, I think the book's completely fine. That's why when I review this, I'm not gonna talk about the slowness of the book because that is a style choice. It's literally just opinion, so I'm not going to use it in the review of what's wrong with it. So I think you should pick it up if you like it, like that kind of style.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I read, so the book that we're reviewing, hilariously, I think I forgot that part, is A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab, for anybody who did not know.
Okay.
Hannah's holding it up too. That's it. We both have a copy. And it is the second book in the trilogy. The first book was A Darker Shade of Magic, which I am also holding up to the screen right now.
And
now
is A Conjuring of Light.
There you go. She's got it. I don't have it yet. So for me, the first book was also a slow burn, but it was an interesting slow burn because V.E. Schwab was introducing us to her world. And I have to say off the bat that I love V.E. Schwab's writing. I think she is a fantastic writer, so don't get it twisted. Any beef that I have with this book is pretty much a personal preference thing. It really is. There's some things, and we'll talk about them in a little bit, but it's mostly a personal preference thing. So I really enjoyed A Darker Shade of Magic because once it picked up, it got me. Like, and even when I was putting it down and doing other things, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to go back to these Londons and see what's going on with the characters. Because, it was one of those books that kind of stuck with you. A Gathering of Shadows didn't do that for me. This didn't, as far as a follow-up to the second book, this felt anticlimactic as fuck. Like, it just as fuck to me. So, but like Hannah said, if you like books that are slow-paced and are all about, and this is a weird thing to say, but it's just like story, but not necessarily story with movement. It's just like story. Then yes, you will enjoy this. There's just a lot of back and forth between characters that you might find interesting. it just, for me, it didn't feel like a lot happened in A Gathering of Shadows. It felt like Dragon Age 2. It felt like Dragon Age 2, but not as interesting. That's what it felt like. Without the amazing companion, like, banter. I don't know, this book almost felt like it could have been 3 chapters, not a whole fucking book.
The thing with that comparison, though, at least in Dragon Age 2, there were big story elements that happened to help propel the 3rd book. This, I'm not even sure.
That's true. That's true. That's a very good point. So I can't even really score this book because, to be honest, fam, I skipped the entire middle section. This was a hard. She read the whole middle. I skimmed the fuck out of it and barely read anything in the middle. I read like the first 300 pages, and then I read like the last 50 pages, and I skimmed what happened
first
in the middle.
300. Let's see.
I think that's the thing. I'm gonna tell you exactly. Boop, 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 boop.
I honestly feel like this is the weird filler book. There were nothing.
It's a weird, because even when I was, so now we're getting into spoiler territory, fam. Because even when I started to read this book, I remember I was like 100 pages in, and I was like, what the fuck is this book about? Mm-hmm. I am 100 pages into this novel, and I have no idea what this book is about. And this book, okay, so it follows the story of Kel, who is an Anatari. Is that how you say that? Anatari, yeah. So he's like, it's a fantasy novel. It's a novel about magic and Londons that exist in different dimensions, and each London is like this strange, crazy mirror of the other. Like there's a white London and a red London and a black London and a gray London. So there's all these different Londons, and they're kind of interconnected, and only people like Kel, and there are not many people like Kel, like it's super, super rare that you'll have a Kel, can travel in between these worlds. So it's his story and his relationship with his brother, who's a prince. And then you've got this other character who is Lila, who's a thief, who helped Kel go through some stuff in the first book. And then she went off on her own journey. And she's actually from the Grey London, but now she's in his London. And in her London, there was no magic. But now we're learning that somehow she's got magic. So she's special. We don't know why the hell she's special, but she is. And so kind of at the end of book 1, this awesome thing happened where there was this big fight with these 2 assholes in one of the Londons who were trying to take over all the Londons, and there's this darkness. It's creepy. I don't even know how would you describe the dark, babe?
The dark is something I would say where it's both alive and dead at the same time. Like it's all encompassing, very much alive, but will swallow everything. Right.
There's this, what's up, X? How are you, love? So there's this whole freaking, like, there was this whole London that apparently, like, destroyed itself because there was, like, too much magic. And this black entity lived there. So this,
wasn't it called Black London?
Yeah, it was called Black London, in fact, right. So it kind of, like, threw off all the balances of Londons or whatever. So long story short, this, like, little blackness got out, and it was featured in the second book, and some shit happened, and it kind of got in Kel, and Kel had to, like, you know, get rid of it. So he had thought that he had gotten rid of it completely, like that was the last little piece of it that's gone. So you find out in this book that it's not gone. There is another Anatari that's like Kel who was not cool. He was kind of a dick. Holland. Yeah, Holland was kind of a dick. We thought that Holland died. We find out that Holland didn't die. He's in White London. He's got this darkness inside of him, and he's using it to literally bring his London back to life. So his London is like the fucked up London, like the London you don't ever want to go to, where like people will fucking stab the shit out of you if they think you got magic and try to steal your magic. Like it's a terrible place. And it's like all like kind of barren, and he's slowly bringing life to it. So while that side plot, which is fucking interesting, is going on the other side, you have about fucking 400 pages of Kel and Rye going to parties and having arguments and talking and doing more talking. And now they're still talking. And now there's some more and now Lila's talking with her pirate captain, and there's some other things going down, and then there's a magic tournament, and I don't know why this is relevant. I don't know why that this whole... Basically, this is a book about a fucking magic tournament that I don't give a fuck about.
I never thought I'd say that Holland and his... Who the fuck was that? Ojka?
Yeah, his little... Yeah, they were the most interesting parts of the book.
Mm-hmm.
They were.
He had the least amount of page time
and
versus everyone else.
It was maddening because there is interesting... I'm glad you appreciate this, X. So there is interesting shit going down with Holland and him taking over this white London and his new protege and him wanting to try to untangle himself from this darkness and figure out how to use this darkness to bring his London back to life, but at the same time get rid of it. So that is a very interesting subplot, especially because like it's like the battle of the Londons and like the magicians. So you got that going on that she paid like no attention to just so we could go back over to Kel and his brother and their fucking drama. And so Kel and his brother got some beef because
a lot of beef.
Whatever. Oh my god. Babe, talk about Kel and Rye's beef. Like I can't. I can't even.
I should start off by saying, before I get into anything, are we in the
Yeah, go for
spoiler?
it. Yeah. We're spoiling the show.
Okay, good. I have read other books by Victoria Schwab. The duology Monsters of Verity, the first book being The Sour...
Hang on, babe. Hang on. You're breaking up. Stand by. Because I want people to hear these other books. Okay, now go again.
Where did I?
You have read other books by V.E. Schwab. Go ahead and list them.
My favorite being the duology Monsters of Verity, with the first book being This Savage Song. Mm-hmm. Read that. That is legitimately good. It's, in fact, if I had to make a top 10 favorite books, that would be in there somewhere. So I had a frame of reference for her writing while Crystal didn't, and I'm actually mad that this was her introduction. But you have, in this series so far, all of these stagnant characters that are not doing anything.
And they're interesting characters, so I don't know why they're not fucking doing anything.
On the surface, interesting people. Like at early into the second book, the exchanges between Kel and Rye were interesting. I'm bound to you, you nearly died for me, I feel what you feel. That was interesting for the first couple of times, but when it's near every exchange is either that or an argument,
it just goes on.
It's too much. It's too, it's too much.
It doesn't stop. So Kel and his brother are bound together now because Kel saves Rye's life at the end of the first book. It's like some cool shit. So it's very interesting to me.
Magic,
yeah, so it's very interesting to me. She is so smart. It's awesome, Max. Hey, waifu. So it's very, very interesting to me that they've got this kind of beef where Rye is kind of just not liking that his life is bound to his brothers like that. And to the point where they can like feel each other's pain, they can feel each other's pleasure, they can feel each other's nightmares. So if like Rye stubs his fucking toe, Kel can feel it, right? And Rye is kind of like the playboy prince. He likes to go out and drink. He likes to bang a lot of bitches. He's bisexual, he's having a good time. Kel's not like that. Kel's like the bookworm. He wants to stay at home and like frown at the wall and read a book. Like
he's like Fenris.
He is totally like Fenris. So for the first, so when you first come back to these two, like it's interesting that they're arguing. They haven't really settled into how they feel about this. They've each got some, problems. Kel's still dealing with what happened at the end of the first book and trying to like beef up his like magical combat skills. So this is all a great setup, right? But nothing happens with this setup. Like literally fucking nothing. Then we go to there's like the magic tournament that is not as interesting as it's like some Sesame Street shit. Like I don't fucking know why it was the whole book.
Mm-hmm. And I've read books that were seriously I'm trying to get your stream to come up on my Chromebook and it's not doing it. But I've read series where there was this awkward middle child book that was just filler, but never to this extent, because normally there is at least something that propels the story on in the long term. Like a series I'm reading now, the middle child book is the third book in, but it was still interesting. It gave me things to cling to, made me curious about things. This, I'm slogging along, and the only encouragement I'm getting is there has to be something somewhere. There has to be something somewhere, even though you haven't given me a reason to think that.
There is nothing. There is not. This is 500 pages of filler. This didn't have to be a book. This did not have to. It literally didn't.
512 pages.
Filler of filler. Like, so there's I like Lila's character. I do. She's interesting. Babe doesn't like her. I kind of like Lila's character. Okay, she's like this thief. She's had to survive on her own. You know, she doesn't really trust people. She's on that, she's on that trope of I don't need no friends. I can do this on my own bullshit, but I secretly love everybody. Like, she's on that bullshit, right? But now she's this character that came from a completely different London, that's in Kel's London, that she's not supposed to have magic, but somehow she does. So she, of course, enters this useless magic tournament and somehow ends up winning. And I don't know why, and I don't know how, because I skipped that whole fucking part because I don't give a fuck.
She didn't win. Wait, no, she did. She did, but she only won because... Kel let her because Rye said... Because Kel was in disguise the whole time.
Right.
And
Kel
apparently at the end of...
Kel enters a magic tournament too, but he's not supposed to because he's the king's adopted son, and that's breaking the rules. Drama. No.
Yeah. But I think it's second to last tournament or last one where they have the unmasking ceremony because everyone's masked. So Rye was like, you can't win, you're going to be unmasked. So he lets Lila win, and then they meet later at some ball or whatever, and yeah.
And there are other legitimate magical people in this tournament, so it's kind of what the fuck to me that she manages to win at all. There's Alucard, however the fuck you say his name, who's the pirate guy who's in love with Rye, and they have some fucky, which is cool. I'm I'm about it. That's hot. That was hot. That was pretty hot. I liked it. But because Rye's a player, and then his little Dracula wannabe comes in, and Rye's not a player no more, and all of a sudden he's a sub and he's a bottom and he takes it. I like it. That's cool. It's hot. But it was. I was down with it. That was the interesting part that I fucking read. I was like, hold up, oh snap, Rye's getting some booty. But it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me why Lila was so awesome at this when Alucard is a really good magic user.
There is literally no reason to anything Lila did. It makes me so angry. In fact, actually, before I do my bit with this,
go ahead.
Tell me why you liked her, because I'm not seeing anything to like.
So I got why she. Okay, so here's
because I'm about to unleash a lot of anger here.
Babe's angry
so
fan.
You need to
Babe's big angry.
Yeah.
Babe's big angry.
Yeah.
So from my perspective on Lila, I get why she wanted to throw herself into this tournament to do this because she's self-destructive. She is literally just that character. V.E. Schwab does a really good job of kind of setting her up from the get-go. This is not a character that goes through a lot of whole character development. She really doesn't. She doesn't change. No. Not even from the second book to this one. She is who she fucking is, okay? Thanks for the sub, Banner. Love your face. So even at the beginning of the book, she's hustling somebody for a fucking pirate ship, okay? And then they go to land, and the first thing she wants to do when she finally gets on land is go find a fight or go steal something. So she's literally self-destructive. So it doesn't blow my mind at all that she's fuck it, I'm just gonna try to get into this magic tournament and try to win because whatever, carpe diem. She doesn't care. So that's fine. That's just who she is. She didn't annoy me as much as fucking Rye and Kel every other fucking page going, oh my god, I can't believe I'm still bound to you. I hate my life. Oh my god. For serious. She didn't, whatever. I get her. Fine. I don't understand why she's special. I don't understand that in 500 pages, it's never been established why she's special. And I don't even want to read the third book. I was slightly interested at the way it ended. It ends on a cliffhanger. So I'm okay, this is, oh shit, some shit's about to go down. Not enough to make me want to try to read the third book. I almost just want to Wikipedia it. Because I'm curious about what happens, But I don't know that I'm curious enough to give V.E. Schwab another shot with this trilogy. That's how much I was unimpressed with this book. And it's not bad writing. It's really not.
It's really not.
Like,
It's
she's
just
not
the
a
way
bad
she's
writer.
doing it.
Like, I don't understand what the point of this fucking book was.
Mm-mm. Like, with most series, you can sum up the end goal of a trilogy. Like, with the Illuminae files, they're trying to get home. They're trying to deal with all this. That's great. Literally, to every series I have on the shelf, looking at it, I can sum up the plot. With this, I have no fucking clue.
None. Now, I almost feel like maybe she's the type of author that's good with 2 books and not 3, because this felt like she just needed to write some shit so she could have 3 books. That's literally what this felt like, a book for her. This felt like the shit that writers write that we don't need to put in our fucking books. Like, this is all for us. Like, we didn't have to give this to you. But people like this shit. This shit got really good reviews, and I'm just like, I don't get it, but okay.
It's like you said, it's not a bad book, but the things in it bother me a lot.
Go on your rant, babe. Go do it, because you actually read the whole book, so I feel like you get more of a voice here. Because I skipped like fucking 200 pages because I just couldn't.
Part of why I'm so angry has everything to do with Lila, or not everything, but a lot to do with Lila, because Victoria Schwab is better at writing characters than this swill. Because I'm serious, because I understand this self-destructing route, because 2 of her main characters in the duology are self-destructive. In fact, one more than the other. So Lila is nothing compared to that.
Oh, snap.
She actually, to me,
hashtag Lila ain't shit.
She's not, because her self-destructing reminds me of a spoiled child and get what she wanted.
Oh, so she's the Kylo Ren of this universe.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, that's perfect. She is the Kylo Ren of this, because reading her, she is that stupid, stereotypical heroine that I hate to see. It's like, you are the reason why female heroines sometimes get a bad rep. You are literally what I hate in every single thing, because oh my god, she doesn't learn. She's the most static character there is.
She really
Suddenly
is.
she's good right out of the gate with no fucking reason. At least with Kel and Rye and Alucard, we have reasons for things. Lila, this is beyond not. You can't even say that. Oh, the mystery is interesting. It's like, no, fucker, it's not interesting. She's a thief. She can't do anything spectacular. She just steals shit.
That's big feelings. Big feelings about Lila.
It's like, even when I was a little girl reading fantasy books for the first time, I hated characters like her. It's like, why should I like you? You haven't shown me why I should like you. It's like, with any character, not just a heroine, you're supposed to show me why you're badass, not tell me why. And I'm sick of this shit as well. It's like, in every other sentence, I'm sick of hearing, oh, I'm not like most girls. Oh, I can do it myself. Or you
that
have a
gets
character
old.
tell her something she shouldn't do, and she does it anyway, and it causes issues. It's like, fuck you.
500 pages of it. There's 500. This is the most repetitive book in the history of repetitive books.
Yeah. She says I'm not like most girls 15 times.
I'm probably more. I feel like that if I could put this book in like Word and like fucking do a search for how many times Lila says that, it's probably a fucking lot. I will. It's true. It's true. Like, it's disappointing because at the end of the first book, there was all kinds of great setup. Like, and the first book doesn't really end on a cliffhanger. It kind of just like ends. Like it. I mean, I feel like that you didn't really have to even like a Darker Shade of Magic could pretty much stand on its own. Like, it could have just been like the end of the story. So for this one, when you come back to these characters, they're kind of doing like they're doing the same things as you left them with, but then there's never a payoff for it. I don't mind story setup. I love good stories. I love interesting characters. I love the plots that fucking V.E. Schwab sets up, but then she just fucking overwaters them and doesn't take them anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, interesting. And then you fucking 200 pages in, you realize this book is really just about a magic tournament, which is frustrating as fuck because there is actually interesting shit going on in White London. Like, in White London, there is some serious shit going down, and we spend, like, maybe 50 pages there? Maybe?
We spend the majority of the time in Red London and
doing nothing.
We're
doing nothing in Red London. We're spending 400 fucking pages in Red London to listen to Kellen Rye, bitch. Politics, tournament, the king's a dick, Lila stealing shit. Kel hates his brother's lover.
Stealing shit and pretending she's good at magic after how many months? 2, maybe?
2 months, right. She can, like, fucking move a puddle, and she's like, I'm the best. Whatever.
I am going to go to this tournament and not die. Okay, sure.
I got nothing.
In fact, she should have died. That would make this one book a lot more interesting if she would pay for that stupid mistake.
And you know what? I'm telling you, she's going to fucking turn out to be the special fucking snowflake. I have nothing against snowflakes. Snowflakes are great. But she is gonna, this is like a bad snowflake, okay? She's gonna turn out to be a special I'm telling you, Kel just, at the end of this book, Kel gets fucking kidnapped by Holland because the darkness wants to be in him instead of fucking Holland, because Holland trying to, like, fucking hustle the darkness and just use its powers and then pass it along, which is smart. Like, whatever, the darkness sucks. So they kidnap Kel so fucking Kel can take the darkness, and I guarantee you Lila is about to do something that only an Anatari can do, and that's move between the Londons. And if V.E. Schwab in the third book does not give us a reason for why the fuck Lila can do this, I'm gonna be real disappointed, because you don't get to write what could have been a really strong, interesting character and then fuck it up when you're a good author.
That's why I'm so angry, because I've read that duology in a standalone that had more depth and more personality diversity than this.
This is my beef. Like, if V.E. Schwab was a shitty author, I'd just be like, yo, it's a shitty author. She's not a bad author, so I don't know what the fuck this shit is.
It makes me so mad, because when the supposed villain of this story that has barely any page time, Holland, who was kind of in the first one, is more interesting than the main crew, there's an issue.
The Anakin, the Star Wars references in chat right now are fucking amazing, man. I don't know. She wrote this a while ago, and you know what also bothers me? People have different tastes. I get it, but I don't understand why people like this. There was literally no payoff for all of this, so either people are just like fucking fangirling and don't know how to fucking like tell the truth, or I don't know. Maybe I could get, like, if this book had gotten like 3.5 stars, that would have made more sense to me. Mm-hmm. That you had like half the people that were like, I liked it, but this book got like, what is it sitting at like 4 point something stars, and I don't understand that. I don't. Yeah. Y'all like books that don't do nothing? Like, I don't.
It reminds me of, like, say you're reading a very fast-paced series, and finally in, say, for example, the third book you're reading, and you finally have a couple chapters of just down. That's really nice. You're refreshing and everything. This book, there is no face. It's like you have downtime throughout the whole book and nothing's being done.
And then you have these teases, and then there's like bullshit. Oh wait, there's some interesting shit going on in White London, but I'm not gonna spend any time there. Let's go back to this bullshit. Yeah, it's got 4.5 stars. 4.5 stars is the average review for this book.
And it drives me crazy because I wanted to like this so much because of all the reviews.
I wanted to like it because I like V.E. Schwab. Mm-hmm. Like, I like this world. I am very interested in Kel. I am very interested in this magic and the darkness and the Anatari. Like, there's things she does as a writer that I really appreciate. Like, I like how she creates her own language for stuff. I like how she lets you know what things mean without doing the footnotes. Looking at you, Jay Kristoff, and your fucking footnotes. Looking at you. But I like how how she does things. There are certain things about it,
Babe,
like
I
I
will
really
literally never respect your opinion of the footnotes. Never.
What? Well, you haven't even read it yet. Okay, first of all, read the
I
books,
read
and
up
then
until the desert. There were plenty of footnotes.
I'm
And you know
just
what I did?
saying.
I just skipped over them.
Look, I'm just saying they're distracting. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying the footnotes are. Well, I didn't ding the book that much for it. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, I'm just.
Oh my god, he would read. He would watch that video where you're dinging.
He liked my review, so whatever. He liked my review. Y'all can't tell me shit.
Oh yeah,
that's
I
right.
Can.
You know what, Bun? They weren't bad. They're just like they're really long. Like they get a little excessive. He goes a little crazy.
I can't see chat, so I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, Bun's like, if you put footnotes in my fiction, you can fuck off. Footnotes are for nonfiction.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you have the main bulk of pages, and then at the very bottom in tiny text are the footnotes, so you can easily skate along, and you won't even know that they're there.
I mean, you can ignore them, but it's just like... And then I wonder why, put fully exactly, Bander. Like some of the footnotes, because whatever, that's a whole different thing. The lore's great, whatever. I already reviewed that, but we're not reviewing that. Anyway, I like the way V.E. Schwab does some things in this book. So this is a very frustrating novel not to like. It really is. I would recommend that people read V.E. Schwab, but maybe not this series.
I feel like, you might like it, but don't start with it. Start with something else. Like, eventually, not now, I'm going to read Vicious, which is apparently her debut book, and she recently made the second book of Venice for it, and that's supposed to be good. It's not as widely known as these are, which that's why I'm looking forward to reading them. But that's the debut book, so I'm seeing if that's going to be any good.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I have a lot of other books to read, so I may get the third book like eventually. You've already got it, so yeah, you have it. So I might just wait till we move in together, and maybe I'll pick it up. And if she can get my attention in like the first 20 pages, then I'm down. But if that book starts out fucking dragging, especially after the way this ended, then I'm out. Then I'm a Wikipedia that shit, because I do generally want to know what happens, but I don't know. My time is precious. Real talk. Real talk, fam. I got shit to do, so these fucking books can't be like not delivering. There's too many fucking books, fam.
I'm kind of generous. I typically give like a brand new book that I don't know anything about. I'll give it 70 pages. If it doesn't grip me by then, I'm like, eh.
Yeah. We'll see. Right, Bander's world builder pride. Yeah. Christoph could have wrote a whole other book about just lore for Nevernight. Because it's interesting. It's interesting, but whatever. Footnotes is footnotes. He liked my review,
because,
though.
like, if you're reading a chapter and they mention some weird-ass king from decades ago, it's literally right there in the chapter for you to go back and look at it. So it's very organized. So if you're maybe reading the book again, reread it with reading the footnotes, too.
You could. You could do that. You could. I mean, you know what? You read the whole series, babe. Well, you need to read that whole series. I'd recommend that everybody reads the Nevernight series, even with my beef.
I'd say that because if you know what Silmarillion is, it's basically like a lore of the elves in Lord of the Rings. I've tried really hard reading that, but when it's like a giant book of just lore after lore after lore, I feel like I'm reading a textbook. A fictitious textbook, so that's why I like having little bits here and there in the main story for me to go and see it.
Okay, hang on, but
that way I have a way to relate to it.
Okay. No, for me, see, the problem was that the lore that he dropped in those books, and we're off topic, but that's okay. The lore that he dropped in those books were not related to the scene. It's literally just a BT dub. So it's distracting from the scene, especially because the lore is like so long. He tends to give you a lot. Like some of it is cheeky and it's just hilarious and it's just like the narrator talking to you, and other times it's like, here's a whole information dump in the history of 15 centuries of, and you're just like, what the fuck? What? Why? The lore, it's like this page and then this page and then the lore. It's a lot. He just whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I will check
I
those
like
out,
having
but
optional lore though.
you'll get it. You get it in Kristoff's books. You will fucking get it. I don't know if he does that in his other books, but I love him and I'll read him. Especially because the fact that he watched my salty review and he told me that he liked it. So I will read. I'm a fan for life now. Kristoff can write terrible things from now until forever, and I will read it.
I rented a book of his from the library like a year ago, and it didn't seem to have any of those footnotes.
Okay, so he just tried that for Nevernight. It is what it is. All right, so a book that irks him to read anything by Stephen Burst. The story is good, weirdly enough. All right, I like these book recommendations. More shit to read. I dig that. All right, what would you get to give the Demon Goats for this book, babe, because you actually read it all the way through. You suffered through 500 pages. I was like, I did not. So you rate this book.
Well, I suffered through 800 something rather of the first Game of Thrones book, so I'm a little hardened.
You are gangsta. I picked it up and put it down, and I was like, and we're done.
So what's the maximum Demon Goats I can give?
5.
I can give 5 Demon Goats.
5 is the best. 1 is the worst.
2.5.
Ooh, so we give A Gathering of Shadows 2.5 Demon Goats.
Okay. I would give the first book a solid 3. This is a 2.5.
I think I gave the first. What did I give the first? I feel like I gave it like 4. I really enjoyed the first book, and I
did too. It was like
I'm pretty sure I rated it fairly high, even though it started off a little slow for my taste. Hang on, I'm gonna go look it up. Where are my reviews at? What did I give that fucking book?
For me, I think of the first one as very casual. Like it didn't just invest me in the story. It was like, okay, I read this. That was pretty nice. That casual enjoyment.
You know what? I have no idea what I reviewed it. I didn't put it. It hooked me. It did. Because I like magic. I do. I like magic. I like the way she set up her worlds and the different dimensions, and so yeah, I really enjoyed the first book. I really liked Kel as a character. And I didn't expect Rye to be this character, this apparently important character of the story that he is. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't know if that Rye is interesting enough for her to be giving him all this fucking attention. Like, I feel like he's almost like he's like that weird plot device that Hollywood likes to use. You use him just to give like your main character emotional responses to something. That's almost what Rye feels like, but then it kind of feels like she's trying to make him an interesting character, and he's really just not. He's very fucking stereotypical inside of a very unique and brilliant world. So it's like, he's the Playboy Prince. He's the Playboy Prince that nobody fucking takes seriously, that whines because nobody takes him fucking seriously, and I'm serious, goddammit, but then you prove that you're not serious because you go out drinking and banging hoes every fucking night, so make up your fucking mind, bitch. And, so he's that's
literally the problem I have with Lila, because she is the stereotypical, non-interesting heroine in a very unique world.
She had potential. She disappointed. She doesn't annoy me as much as she annoys Pixel. Yeah. She doesn't.
It's like, I don't know
just like,
what's wrong with me, but it's like she's literally, this is gonna be mean.
Oh.
But it literally, I'm also using like George R. R. Martin for this as well. Mm-hmm. She reads like a man wrote her, and not a good male writer, because I read fantasy stuff by a male writer.
That's harsh.
Who nailed female characters really well. But this feels like a guy was writing Lila, and he's like, oh, okay, let me Google stuff about girls. That's literally what Lila felt like, and that just radiated off of the page. It's like, you could die right now, and I won't.
I mean, I wouldn't care too much if she died either.
That's why I want to just
I'm not really
reiterate.
attached.
It's like, I've read fantastically written characters by male authors, so that's not an issue. But I've also read stupid shit by male authors, and this reads like that. Lila does.
Yeah, she is kind of basic. She just doesn't. I'm just like, all right, she's a basic character, and I don't know why you're so fucking special. And just, you know what it is? I'm very ambivalent. Like, this book did not give me feelings. I have no feelings, but other
It
than
feels
like kind of
like
annoyance that I wasted my time.
it's literally like Lilo was just thrown into the story for the sheer benefit of random gender diversity.
There are
That's
like
really what it
5
is.
characters in this fucking book that I feel like were just thrown into the fucking story just so she had something to write, and I don't. It does. I swear to God, this book is like somebody told her she had to write a trilogy, and she was like, "Oh shit, what am I gonna write about? I'll write about a magic tournament for the second one because the third book has to be this." Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. So Pixel gives it 2 stars, 2 demon goats. Pixel gives it two demon goats for A Gathering of Shadows. So we highly recommend that you read B.E. Schwab, but maybe not this trilogy.
But not this. Don't start with this.
Maybe don't start with this. She's got other books that maybe start with those. What were the ones that you recommended? Recommend some V.E. Schwab books?
The series that I adore, it's a duology. It's called Monsters of Verity. The first book is This Savage Song, and the second is Our Dark Duet. It's very, very good. It has amazing characters, both of which are self-destructive, but in a very interesting way. And there's character development. It's just done really well, and the plot is interesting, the world is interesting, the conflict is interesting, the monsters in it are really fucking interesting. Both the first one and the second one. The second one made me cry, like ugly cry.
Nice.
So read that. And then The Near Witch, it wasn't as good as the duology, but it was still very, very, very interesting. And I also have Vicious over there that I have not read yet, but I've heard if you like Monsters of Verity, you'll like Vicious.
Okay. Waifu asks, what would be a 5 for you, Pixel? What book would you rate as 5 demon goats?
Her duology.
Her duology.
Her duology is called 5. I would actually get, if you have 10 demon goats, I would give it a 10.
For me, the Illuminae Files, the first one, the first Illuminae Files, and I'd even give Nevernight, although I don't think I did. I think I gave it a 4.5. But both the Illuminae Files out of the without question a fucking 5. I'd give the whole series a 5, but I dinged like there was some minor shit in the third book, but overall that entire series was like fucking fire. It was so. I think the Illuminae Files was better than the Hunger Games. Real talk. Like real talk. I think the Illuminae Files was better than the Hunger Games.
I would give like Illuminae Files a 5, and then Hunger Games a 4.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I fucking love the Hunger Games, but I think the Illuminae Files was fucking, that shit was fire. That was really, really fucking good. So fucking good.
I ding the final book in the Hunger Games a little bit because I
That book pissed me off.
like it when books leave me feeling. It didn't piss me off too much. I mean, it did, but not too much. I don't like when books leave me feeling empty, not feeling anything for the ending.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to be sad. I don't have to be overly happy. It just, I don't want to feel nothing.
Yeah.
Last book did that for me. Obsidio, the last book of the Illuminae Files, made me feel all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff. So I had so many feelings. I got to the train, was like, nah, fuck this, I'm done. You know what? I loved the first one. I felt like I was little, like, whatever. And then the third one, I remember there was some things I loved about it and some things that I was just like, why you do? Why you do? Why? I mean, endings are hard, I guess. They're just, endings are hard. And I don't understand why endings are hard. I really don't. But apparently endings are hard. So
I literally have a standalone Dragon Age novel over here that is better than A Gathering of Shadows and A Darker Shade of Magic.
Wow. That's serious. That is serious. But yeah, you know what? Yeah, I recommend that. Yeah, if you haven't read the Illuminae Files yet, fam, you need to.
It's
Definitely,
amazing.
that shit's amazing. Yeah, and read the Nevernight. Even though you're like fuck footnotes, waifu, you'd love Mia. She's a great fucking character. She's so good. Like she's my I got like Laura Croft and like Mia Corvire, and those are my bitches. That's squad right there. They will fucking burn the world. It'll be awesome. I am here for it.